is going to be a terrific dust-up between the Czech Republic, who won in Munich, and Poland's four finest sons, the world champions, who go in lane 4. Korol, Jelinski, Kolbovic and Lufsky. So, Australia on the far side, David Crawshaw in the stroke seat, James Gaddy, Peter Hardcastle and Chris Morgan in lane 1. Lane 2, Sergey Grin. The Australians, they'll all be crowded around the match. I think they play Brazil tomorrow night.
What a match.
What a match. Ukraine, well, they got a shock in their first round. They're in lane 2. This is the Czech Republic. Jirka Dolacek, there's the bald head of the great Chalupa, and Tomas Karas. He just brings something so special to that boat. They were 4th in the world. Who I wouldn't bet that they wouldn't be on the podium this year. And here are the World Championships. Adam Korol in the stroke seat. Then Jelinski, Kolbovic, Vasuski. Can they hold it together till Beijing? That's the big question. France. Well, Adrien Hardy and Mackay have had a success. Jean-David Bernard, the man in the stroke seat. And as you look at the French here, just a little quote from Adrien, and we got off to a very bad start. This is during the men's double sculls. During the first 3 strokes, we had to work hard on the Slovenians, but in the 1,000 metres mark, we started to come back stroke by stroke. We're very happy, and very happy that we were able to win today. So the French crew in 5, and closest to you, Belarus, with Alexander Novikov in the stroke seat. Well, there's Adam Korol. And this isn't easy, because this is really their first test of the season. And they're on home water. Expectations are high, Martin.
Yeah, I think more than anything else for this Polish quad, this is who the crowd have come to see, and they are certainly going to want to put on a fantastic show. I think the field here is maybe a little easier than it might have been in Munich. The Russian quad Olympic champions, well, they're back to form in Munich, but the Russian team aren't here. They came second in Munich, so maybe the Poles have got a little bit of pressure on them because the Olympic champions aren't here. But nevertheless, they're the ones out in front at the moment, and they like to dominate the race. They like to get out in front, and the rest of the field come back to them.
And also, you know, no German quad, no Italian quad.
Yeah, the Italians, we expect to see them in Lucerne, but traditionally those are the 2 that have dominated this field, and I do think it's strange, and I think what it shows is that other countries are developing their scullers. They're picking their event. Germany, and maybe Germany is not as successful across the range of events. You know, they might need to be more focused on 1 or 2 particular events, but certainly it's very strange to see a quads race without a German crew here, with the German team present.
It was very interesting, I thought, last year, even in Gifu, which, as you say, was a slightly different World Championships being over in Asia, but no less than 27 nations went home with medals.
Yeah.
Now, that's healthy.
Yeah, it's very healthy, and it's one of the reasons that makes this great sport so exciting. But, well, we've got a traditional Polish race here, because this is exactly what they did in Gifu, come out and say to the rest of the field, well, you know, you come back at us. I think in the French quad in lane 5, again, they won their repechage yesterday to come through to the final. Again, all of them had some effect from this mystery illness, which laid them low on Tuesday night when they first came out here. But they've been in doubles at Munich, and now come into the quad for the first time, and I think they'll be quite happy with a podium finish here.
Yeah, the Polish quartet, it was a long time coming. Remember, so many near attempts, you know, and finally they got that elusive world title. This is going to be hard to hold on.
There's a lovely rhythm. I mean, for those of you that know rowing, you can just see when the blades come out of the water, there's just time and poise. They're just moving the hands, and the poise comes there, and it looks, you know, it looks quite different to the Czechs and everyone else behind it. They're sending the boat off, and that's a beautiful flow. If anyone wants to think, well, how do I move on in this sport? What sort of rhythm should I have? You could do worse than look at the Polish quad today.
Czechs in second place, France, then Ukraine, Australia, Belarus struggling a little bit now already. And now the nerves will have settled. I think they're really beginning to enjoy this now, the Polish. But I wouldn't rule out the Czechs. I think that they're a canny quartet, and when you consider who they've got in there, they've got Milan Dolecek, Jirka, Chalupa, Karas, of course
Yeah, Sinek's the one that's come out, you know, to make room for Lupa, and he's in the single. He didn't make the final, actually, in the singles, but certainly the Czechs, when they were in Munich, they had a good third 500 metres. They had the quickest third 500 metres of all the crews in Munich, and you'd expect to see them move back on Poland in this part of the race. But again, I think the Poles are going to have that confidence. They've certainly got that rhythm to hold off the chasers.
But we talk about great athletes, and how do you sum up Chalupa? Because just fantastic, the consistency. Never got that all-important gold.
No.
So many fantastic silvers, Olympic and world silvers aplenty.
Yeah, and you think, well, maybe he could have come out into the quad and given the Czechs a sort of head start, but for him it was always try and get a medal in the single, and as you say, never got that gold. But one of rowing's great performers. And
clearly the inspiration for the Czechs.
I think so. I think he's a quiet inspiration, and I think he's set the standard for Czech sculling. And I think if you do have that sculler of that standard in your nation, it gives you, the juniors, someone to aspire to. You can train with them, you know, you can joust and you can learn things, pick things up, and it just brings the whole country on. But the French coming back with a little bit of a charge here.
Yeah, well, the Poles picked it up in that third quarter, 125.97, and nobody went quicker than that. And that's the reason why they've eased out their margin. And this is looking pretty good at the moment. They seem to be in control of things. The Czechs really trying to mount a counter-attack as we come into the last 200 metres.
Yeah, I think the Poles have got it there at the moment. They're still, they've wound the rate up. They're just coming up close to 39.40, but still that strong rhythm. And I think they're going to maintain this distance through.
Yeah, and they're on their feet here at the Malta Regatta course, the red and white of Poland. It's been a great day, a lot of countries represented on the various podiums here, but it is Poland who pretty well led this from start to finish. The Czech Republic, France having a really good battle with the Ukraine for that third place on the podium. Ukraine furthest away, but it is actually France easing their way now. Poland, and then the Czech Republic and France.
That might be a new world record.
Well, 5:30, just having a look at this, I would just question this because we've got a computer spat in front of us, so I'm going to wait. The world record is 5:37. World best time is 5:37.68. In Gifu was 5:34.96.
Yeah. A little bit of streaming, Gifu.
Yeah.
A little bit of streaming, Gifu. I'm not sure world records count in
No,
Gifu.
because it wasn't a valid. It wasn't a still piece of 5:39.64. So whichever way you look at it, it isn't a. So that's second place for France.
I think that world record,
5:37.31, that would be a third new world best time of the afternoon. You're quite right, Martin. Poland 5:37.31, and again, that's a little bit extra for them.
Yeah, and you know, they had the pressure here. You know, they were the favourites to win on their home course, and boy did they deliver. I mean, fantastic rhythm to watch that quad just motor down the course. And it wasn't that they were out. They were sort of busting a gut, or that, you know, that actually it looked all fluid. You can see the blades there in perfect unison, and justly deserved to set that time.
Well, it's been a fantastic morning. You know, I just wondered when we came here after that massive entry that we had in Munich. Today's entry, 35 nations, 251 athletes. I was wondering whether we were going to